That's Chelsea. Let's get to Arsenal. Plenty going on. Gabriel finally announced. Dharmesh, where to start with the others?
Where indeed. This has the makings of one of the busiest transfer windows for Arsenal in recent years. Now, there's one name that's been bandied around throughout this transfer window, and it's the Atlético Madrid midfielder, Thomas Partey, and he remains a player we think that Arsenal are interested in. He's got a release clause believed to be around £45 million. Now, for a sum of money that big, for Arsenal to be able to spend that much on one player, it's likely they will need to have a few sales before they can commit £45 million. Now, we've been speaking throughout this week to look out for Alexandre Lacazette and what potentially could happen to him. Arsenal fans might be disappointed that he is being talked about with a potential exit, but he is a player who could raise funds for Arsenal, and there's even talk of Alexandre Lacazette being part of a deal where he would go to Atlético Madrid as part of a deal that would bring Thomas Partey to the Emirates. Why sell Lacazette though? Well, Lacazette's 29 years old now. He's entered the final 2 years of his contract, and if a new deal is not forthcoming, this basically is the last realistic chance that Arsenal have to get good money for Lacazette.
So let's keep across Lacazette. Dani Ceballos, any movements on that one?
Quick one, every expectation. I know you like that phrase. Dani Ceballos will be an Arsenal player next season. All the noises coming from Arteta, all the noises coming from Ceballos dictate and suggest that he will be signing on for another season-long loan.
Saw the Guardian last night break £25 million bid for Hector Bellerin from PSG. What about the potential departure there? Where do you think we're at with him?
This is an interesting one, actually, because we spoke to our French football expert, Jonathan Johnson, earlier on in the show, and he said that Paris Saint-Germain are definitely interested in Hector Bellerin. Should we be surprised if Arsenal allow Hector Bellerin to leave? I think yes and no. Yes, because he's 25 years old and he's a regular starter under Mikel Arteta. No, because he is 25. He's got 3 years left on his contract and he could command a rather substantial transfer fee that would help Arteta rebuild other areas of his squad. What's more, in Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who looks increasingly likely to stay now, remember, Arsenal rejected a £15 million bid from Wolves for him, and Cedric Suarez, who is Arteta's man, he brought him in from Southampton in January. Arteta could argue that he is quite well stocked in the right back area, but he's definitely one to keep an eye on, the Hector Bellerin situation. Fascinating
as well to look at clues, because nobody was coming out from the PSG side today and denying their interests, not even denying the bid. That's always something to look out for. I know PSG have been busy today with those 3 players who've tested positive for coronavirus. We're told one of those players is Neymar. Who else might Arsenal consider, Dharmesh, you think, to let go?
Look, the arrival of Gabriel could spark a number of departures, particularly in defence. Now, look, talks continue with Newcastle United over a season-long loan for the Arsenal defender Rob Holding. We're told Sokratis is interesting Napoli, and Shkodran Mustafi is another player that Arsenal may be willing to allow leave the club. Now, Sokratis and Mustafi, they are into the final year of their contract. Mustafi could be a difficult sell, though, because he's currently injured and he's not expected to be back until October. So that one could be quite a difficult one for Arsenal to do. Aside of those players, Schalke are interested in Sead Kolasinac, and it appears Mesut Ozil and Matteo Guendouzi are simply not in Mikel Arteta's plans. So perhaps in an ideal world, they'd like to get Ozil off the wage bill, £350,000 a week, and Guendouzi could command a substantial transfer fee. It is clear, though, whatever anyone says about all the arrivals that are happening at Arsenal at the moment, they do need to trim their squad. With Gabriel's arrival, they've got 34 senior players in that squad they need to sell.
What a number there, Dharmesh. It's still going to be fascinating to see what happens to us. I know we've spoken about him a lot in recent weeks, but wow, you look at wages in particular.